name is Philip Becken, the Rabbi from Another Planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. And I watched Watchmen Season 1. Well, I think the only season. They're not getting a second. Watchmen Season 1, Episode 5 last night. And it was a very strange event because it wasn't that it wasn't bad. It wasn't that it was good. It was stunning. It was like from a different TV show. This was if this episode was the Watchmen they were doing, this would be a massive hit. It was it was breathtakingly good. It's one of the best hours of TV. Probably I've seen. I would rank that in the top 100 hours of TV. It's incredible, genuine sequel to Watchmen. This was at last the sequel to Watchmen, set like 35 years later. And okay, let's get into it. Let's get into what this show, what this episode really was, and then I'm going to talk about why I think it worked, where none of the other episodes have really worked to this extent in this way. No, so this episode focuses on the one side character, Looking Glass, the superhero Looking Glass, who's modeled very much on Rorschach. Just he has a reflective mask instead of a Rorschach mask. But essentially, he's modeled on Rorschach, and it's a real character study of him, where he came from, and what his life is. And yeah, it's just fantastic. It's this incredible performance by who was his name? Tim Blake Nelson. Yeah, just this incredible layered performance from Tim Blake Nelson, where he shows like layers and layers of like stress and paranoia and like layered and layered on over a lifetime on him, and it's put into this like film noir quasi science fiction, really tense plot. Again, just breathtaking. So it starts off in 1985. Spoiler alert. By the way, if you haven't seen any Watchmen, this is probably, if you just watch this episode, this will be great. And yeah, I'm hoping it's going to change direction. I don't think it will, because I think Lindelof is. I still think Lindelof is a racist, because he's a Hollywood racist, not a KKK racist, a different type of racist. But so I don't think it's going to change direction. But this one episode was just fantastic. So it starts off in 1985, at the end of the Watchmen comic book graphic novel, when the new one happens. The Squid is teleported into New York, causing this massive psychic shock. And it's just like, and so you see this kid. He's a kid at the time. He's I think a Mormon, some religious thing, and he's at this Hoboken fair. And again, it just fits seamlessly into Dave Gibbons' illustrations of Watchmen. He's there. There's you see the knot tops who are very big in the comic book. I got to watch it again to see if there's any more details. Hopefully, there's like some meltdown posters in the background or so, other stuff from the comic. And then he gets he's trying to bring the word or whatever his religion is to the heathen sinners at the fair, and this girl gets him to go into the House of Mirrors with him, and he thinks she's going to sleep with him, gets him naked and steals his clothes, and he's like, oh my god, and then he's trying to work out what to do, and then suddenly, boom, the shock hits, the squid appears, and then you see it. They realize it looks fantastic, and it looks actually better than it did in the comic. It goes over city blocks. Just seemed, again, I keep saying the word seamless. It was seamless from the comic. Anyway, so now you get into this whole culture of people who are experiencing PTSD for their entire freaking life. They experience this incredible trauma for their entire existence. About this squid. So you get, and you see how it's like, and how he lives in terror of it coming back again. This thing has pretty much defined his existence. And he's just I gotta watch this episode again. It was so good. And so then he gets caught up in the current day mystery, which then takes a really good, interesting turn. He's what's the word? I won't say co-opted. He's manipulated. It's a lot like the movie the Wicker Man. He's manipulated by the Seventh Cavalry to be brought in to what their plan is, what they're doing, and they're playing around with this teleporter, which is what they were playing around with when the dimensional squid appeared, which was Aussie Manager's technology, and so he's totally free because he's terrified of this thing, and he's also trying to arrest them. It's such a wonderfully tense sequence. The music is perfect. Oh my god, the soundtrack, just everything just reeks Watchmen. This was what Watchmen. And then he's eventually confronted by the creepy senator, who's clearly bad. It was clearly bad. Who was played by the guy who was a closeted gay person in the last season or two of Mad Men. And he said, "Okay, I'm just going to let you know the truth." And he then plays him a tape from Aussie Managers from 1980. What was it, 85? I think, saying that he was the one who did the squid. It was all a deception. It's all a fake to bring the world together. And it just blows up his entire life, because his whole life revolves around protecting himself from another squid, another invasion from this other dimension. And he sees it as complete, like, well, I've wasted my entire life being terrified because he's got this like early warning thing kit which he overuses all the time. This alarm thing, and he breaks because he uses it so much time. And he says, "I gotta have it. I gotta have it." He's talking to the company, and he says, "I'll pay it." He says, "Pay his extra to get it overnight." So he comes home after like this insane day, and he sees the box with the alarm in, and it's just such a great touch. This is such a I can so see Alan Moore's characters doing this. This is such where he like sees it and goes and throws it in the garbage, and then he comes back out and he brings it and takes it back in there because fear is habitual. That's really and it was such an authentic, a wonderful moment. I just love this episode. Okay, so here's why I think it was so great. It's because he wasn't right. Damon Lindelof. Damon Lindelof wasn't writing black characters, and I think he's just scared. He's really scared of not showing he's an anti-racist. So he's like, it ruins his writing. It tends to he can't write people with this. Not just real people. He can't write people who are layered like this. When he's dealing with non-minority characters, he's fantastic. I mean, you don't just get real people; you get interesting, layered people. So yeah. Oh, and then you have the whole like crazy Aussie Manager sequence where he's not on Earth. He's in some compound, maybe on Mars, but he finally gets himself out there. He's in the spacesuit he makes, and he gets him to do a trebuchet. Boom! And they fling him out, and he's outside his bubble. And there's all the bodies of all the clones that he's chucked up there, like hundreds of them. And so you see him moving around. So, oh look, he's going to give them some proper burial. No, he's using them to spell out a message, an SOS. There's something that says "Save me," which hopefully I assume it's going to Dr. Manhattan. I guess. I don't know, but you know what? Fantastic episode. Absolutely fantastic episode. Probably going to be the only fantastic episode. But this was a real, genuine sequel to Watchmen. Much better than anything else I've ever seen. It was the only thing it was like reading a chapter from Watchmen. It was like reading one of the original comics. Fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Which just makes it more tragic. You know what it's kind of like. Again, in the episode title of this, I'm going to say this fell from another dimension where Watchmen was a really good show. I just wish this was the show we had. I wish this was, because I would be raving about this. Oh my god, it would have been so good. Oh, and there's so much weird stuff in this. Like this, I thought I was watching gay porn at one point with like with a superhero bent, because it was Hooded Justice having sex with Captain Metropolis, I think his name is. But then I thought it might be an episode from that TV show, about real American heroes. But so I was just again. This was purely in the real Watchmen world. 30 years later, fantastic. I can't recommend it highly enough. And it just makes it more watch. Oh yeah, so I was going to say, you know what it's like. The Alan Moore, the guy who wrote the original comic book, his thing he wrote before this, the thing that really got him out there was something called. We had two things. One called Marvel Man and one called V for Vendetta, which were both like in England we have anthology. Like a major comic in England is called 2000 AD, and it comes out each week, and you have like 5 6-page stories in it, and they continue each week. It's like these, and it's serialized. So this rival comic came out in the early 80s called Warrior, and it was monthly, all black and white. It was gorgeous. It had this gorgeous paper. It's like this crappy paper, but I loved it. And that's really where Alan Moore became big on it. So he did 2 strips in there, Marvel Man and V for Vendetta, both of which you can now buy. You can buy. Oh, you can just see them. I'll see if I can point to them right there. That's Marvel Man. V for Vendetta normally goes there, but I just lent it to a friend of my daughter's. So yeah. So when they're doing the weekly, the monthly serialization, and this one, when in issue 4 they did something really wacky. They did an episode not in continuity, but from 4 years in the future, because he mapped the whole thing out, and it was just like, whoa, that's where we are. That's how I felt about this episode, where I'm like, what, really? This is Watchmen? This is fantastic. So like, it just totally jarred me. Although, because it's so good, it makes everything else look so bad, which also reminds me of another Alan Moore thing in Swamp Thing. That's a book he really came into big time on, where this demon makes a deal with Swamp Thing for a flower that he can plant in hell. Because if he puts that one beautiful flower in hell, it makes everything else seem so much worse. And that's what this episode was. It was just fantastic. Let me know what you think. I mean, it's really, I'm like kind of speechless, which I've spoken for 12 minutes, 15 seconds, even though I'm speechless. I'm kind of speechless. It was really fantastic. My name is Theodore Becken, the Rabbi from Another Planet. Please like, share, and subscribe. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. And if you like Doctor Who, I'm doing a giveaway of a DVD box set of Trial of the Time Lord. Doing it next, and the giveaway is going next week. All you got to do is like, share, subscribe, and put a comment with the hashtag 6eontrial. It's hashtag SIXIEONTRIAL, because it's Trial of the Time Lord is the trial of the Sixth Doctor, played by Colin Baker. If you're interested in that, just do that. And look, there's only one person entered. I think I haven't actually looked. There's only one person entered so far. Go for it. It's you can get yourself a free DVD box set. Okay, thank you for listening, and have a great day.